So ENTJs are often described as decisive, logical, direct, resourceful, future-minded, innovative, strategic, and assertive. And I think that Denzel Washington is actually a great example, a phenomenal example of an ENTJ. Now, the reason why I believe this is because he pretty much also plays ENTJs in majority, not all, but there's some few exceptions, but even then when he's playing other types, you still kind of see his ENTJ nature kind of like bleed into those types. Like, I believe in Equalizer, he's playing an ISTP, yet you still see like, the ENTJ kind of nature. And then in Safe House, he's playing an ENFJ, but he still kind of like seems like a little bit like an ENTJ. But then you look at, movies such as Out of Time or Deja Vu, or like even in there's just so many movies where like he's playing an ENTJ in those movies, and you can tell like it's very like natural for him because that's kind of like who he is already as a person. Even in Malcolm X, who I'm still trying to decide like what his type might be. When you watch the movie, which I'm actually going to watch again soon, I believe that from what I recall, he seemed pretty ENTJ in that movie as well, and that's kind of like what I've been like leaning most towards. But all in all, Denzel Washington is an incredible example of an ENTJ. When I was like looking for interviews of him to demonstrate this on my Instagram, I found that it was kind of hard to do so because like most ENTJ, he's more about it than he actually is, like just speaking it in a sense. And so when you see him, he like TEFI is often involved with like just embodying who they are. So he kind of like carries out the mission. Like, TE is all about like what's going to get things done and, what's going to be the most effective way of getting things done. And it's more concerned with, embodying, which goes with its polarity, FI, as even though it's his inferior function, he's very in tune with it, especially as he's into things such as like acting and all of that. Then you see his introverted intuition come out a lot when he starts changing the perspectives of people, and he like starts like revisiting all these abstract ideas and things, such as like in the movie Deja Vu, where he pretty much brought Deja Vu, like kind of like was a very NESI movie that was like talking about like alternate realities of some sort, and then next thing you know, like he brings his NISE, like his character in that movie brings his NISE as an ENTJ into it. It's like, all right, instead of just being like this, how about let's do things like this way, instead of just like kind of like allowing things to like just happen, or like looking at the alternate reviews, like let's actually like have a handle on what is going on over here, let's enforce upon it, and I believe that when you watch all of these movies, you can see that he's coming from a very abstract and conceptual place, which I believe is where his introverted intuition lies. I think that this is also why he's such a great actor as well, because he's able to get so heavily into the mind of the people that he is acting as. Like, so his NI really deeply dives into whatever character that he's being, and he's able to see things from that character's perspective extremely well, to the point where he's able to even copy their hand motions and all of that. And it's almost like unreal even for an actor how well he's able to portray these people's positions and stuff like that, while still keeping himself and like flavoring it himself as well. So it's really awesome. And then you also see his tertiary SE again, like coming out very strongly, like it's matched with his TESE. Like, he's a goofball. He's a pretty like, jovial guy. Like, he definitely knows how to joke around, but at the same time, he's also still intense and it's an assertive. And so you'll see that TESE like really like, coming out with that NI auxiliary, just like piercing and focus as he's talking to you. And so that's why I believe personally that he's a great example of an ENTJ. And if you again like watch like a lot of his movies, and you even like see like interviews of him, then this is like more evident. And I think that it's a good example also to bring him as an ENTJ, because we have so many people who believe that they are INTJ when they're actually ENTJ because, you know, they're a little bit more reserved. And, you know, stereotypically, not saying that there are not ENTJs that are like very bossy and loud and, you know, just like bulldozers, but, you know, there are also ENTJ archetypes out there, such as like the fictional character Paul Briggs that I always talk about, who are very like, you know, relaxed and very like assertive, but in a very quiet and just intense manner, and very like focused and almost like, you know, they can pass for introverts, you know. And so I think that Denzel Washington is a great example of an ENTJ for that reason. And I hope that y'all enjoyed this series. I'm sorry that this one is coming out a little bit later than expected because I actually had somebody else in mind for the ENTJ one. And then when I went back and I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I feel like Denzel would be a better one. And so I went ahead and did that one. But I'll be posting a poll and, you know, other things soon so that I could see like where to go to next with my channel, because I have lots of ideas, but I want to know what y'all want. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this series. There's also going to be, you know, like a Q&A coming up soon and like many other like content as I continue to just adjust my time throughout the day. But yeah, done.